Tolerance means that you're open to acknowledge, allow, and respect the opinions and practices that are different from your own. We can easily get images of people who are intolerant of other people because of religious or political beliefs, or who differ in race or gender orientation. Now, those intolerant folks may attract like-minded people, but they don't get the attention of a diverse audience. Now, we all grow up with stereotypes of people who are different from us. How embedded they are depends a lot on your upbringing. An early start on tolerance for differences is a great gift that a parent can give a child. But unfortunately, we all don't start out that way. Some of us have to learn tolerance and get more skillful at it. When Barbara Walker, who worked at Digital Equipment Corporation in the 1980s, she was the manager of international diversity. When she was there, she developed a 5-step training approach for employees of Digital Equipment Corporation, which we can look at as one set of guidelines for developing greater tolerance. Her program began with a direct look at stereotypes. Every group began with an examination of their own stereotypes. I'll try a few of her questions on you. I'll start a sentence, and you finish it with 3 or 4 descriptive adjectives. Just let the words come. Don't try to censor them. Are you ready? Native Americans are. African Americans are. White people are. Hispanics are. Asian Americans are. People with a Texas accent are. People from California are. People who don't finish high school are. People with AIDS are. People who stutter are. Men with long ponytails are. Now, did you discover that you're holding some negative stereotypes about certain groups of people? It's easy to see how holding negative attitudes toward people prevents you from being flexible and adaptable with them. And that intolerance then extends beyond the usual stereotypes to closely held assumptions about values and ways of actually seeing the world. Now, after working to identify people's stereotypes, Barbara Walker moves to step 2, which has to do with basic assumptions. If person A sees only one way of putting a new product together, and person B has an entirely different approach, they actually may be intolerant of each other. Or they may find, as Walker teaches, that it's okay to disagree. People learn to not automatically rule out another way of looking at something. Learning to tolerate differences means that each person slows down to actually listen to the other person. And through the process of not being afraid to disagree, people can actually open up a dialogue, which leads to greater creativity for everybody. Now, in the 3rd step of Walker's work, she has the workshop participants actively search out people that they feel are different from them. They have to build relationships with these people and keep these differences in mind. The 4th step involves learning how to deepen one's sense of tolerance for differences by talking about them within those relationships that they have with the people who are different from them. People are especially encouraged to talk about how they feel victimized by those differences. And the 5th and last step in Walker's program is to come full circle back to the stereotypes of groups and talk more freely about them. But this is only after each person has created a real relationship with someone whom they regard as really being different from them. This whole approach is designed to open the participants up to the value of differences and to empower them to feel comfortable enough to talk about them. If you're willing to adapt your behavior, you're less apt to exhibit an intolerant attitude, at least toward another person. We're in a world that's increasingly recognizing the values of cultural, racial, religious, political, and gender diversity. The question is, do you embrace diversity? Are you tolerant of others?